If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement, Male Advantage ebook, or my personal workout and diet plan, all links are in the bio. Okay guys, welcome back to another video. In this video I want to talk about how, it's quite a weird one, how the women that I grew up with are no longer attractive. That sounds weird, right guys? It sounds like I'm almost bragging, but this is wildly important, especially for you younger guys, and it explains so much about male life and why I'm so obsessed with you guys sacrificing your teens and 20s and giving up the perceived luxuries of, you know, things like women, things like parties, etc. Now, as I said at the start of this video, the women my age, I'm not attracted to anymore. The women I grew up with, I'm not attracted to anymore. Like the women that are like 28, 29, 30, 31, that's roughly around about my age, the ones that were really hot when we were growing up at school, they were the hottest girls. You know, when you went out into town at like 18, whatever, they were the hottest girls. Everybody wanted to fuck them. If you did, it was like a trophy. It was like a big prize. They're not attractive anymore to me, okay? And I'm not bragging saying that I'm like whatever. I'm just saying I don't find them attractive. Now, have I upgraded since then? Yeah, massively. Have I slept with better women than them since? Yeah, massively. Have I been around scenarios where there's much hotter women? You know, I'm talking about like living in London, Toronto, going to certain clubs where you're seeing like 9s and 10s and then going, oh, those girls that I used to think were beautiful aren't. Yeah, there is that too. But I've also, as a comparison, looked at like I'm of an age where everybody's Facebook pictures are still there from when they were young, okay? So the other day I was like, why do I not find these girls attractive anymore? Is it because of the reasons I just said, or is it because they're not attractive anymore? So I went and had a look at like pictures, like old pictures that I had of like when I was 18 and you're in a club with a girl and you got your arm around her and you're taking a photo together, and then a picture of her right now. You know, she's had 2 kids, whatever, maybe she hasn't, but she's 30 years old compared to the 18-year-old version of her. Well, I looked at the 18-year-old version, and even though like the hair and the fashion's a bit weird, I was like, she's attractive. Like, I still think she's attractive. The 30-year-old version, I don't find her attractive. The face just doesn't look the same. It's not as youthful, the body doesn't look the same, it just doesn't pop like it used to. That's normal, right? And with that knowledge, as soon as I realized that, I was like, fuck, yeah. The male advantage shit is so true. It's not even funny like how accurate this is. And that message for you younger guys is, don't waste your time on these younger women who are your age, because you won't find them attractive when you're older anyway. Like, think about that, guys. Imagine putting all your time, your effort, a decent chunk of your money into chasing these women, a certain woman. You land her, it took you 2-3 years. You then get married to this woman, you have kids with this woman. You get to 30, you stop, you look, and you go, I don't find her attractive anymore. Right, there's not much wrong with that, okay? So a lot of people will frown upon that and say, that's a terrible mentality to have, that poor woman. You can't fight what you're looking at, okay? As men, we're visual creatures. If you look at a woman, you don't find her attractive anymore, you don't find her attractive anymore. You might get on with her. You might have great discussions. She might be your best friend. But if you don't want to fuck her, that takes so much out of that relationship. Okay? And then what's going to happen is you're going to be down the gym. You're 30 years old. You're in the prime of your life as long as you've worked on yourself. And you're going to start getting attention off a 21, 22-year-old who you now find attractive. And you're going to go, fuck, I wish I didn't cop out so early. I wish I was with this woman now, not with the one I'm currently with. So with that being said, you might as well wait it out, because you're going to, like I said, you're not going to find the women your age attractive anyway. Like, I don't know, you know, once you're the same age as them, let's say 18, and they're attractive and you grow together, by the time you get to 30 and you're in your prime and they've kind of really diminished, well, it's going to seem like a stupid deal. Okay. It's a diminishing asset. You didn't really maximize the time that you had with that woman. Whereas if you were like 30 years old, you're with a 21-year-old, by the time you get to 40, she's only 31, that's a pretty good fucking deal, okay? I don't think that's too bad at all. You know, at 40, if you're with a beautiful 31-year-old, you're going to be like, I'm doing okay here. Okay, and I still think that gap should be bigger. I still think the guy should be like 45 and she should be like 30. I think 15 years just works perfectly. Because at 45, if I'm with a 30-year-old that's like kept herself looking good, I'm going to be quite happy about that. I think, you know, I could be with a fucking 21-year-old, who knows, right? But I think I'm going to be a lot happier than if I'm 45 and my missus is also 45. You know, it's not going to work too well. So what's the benefit to you guys? Well, you know, I often say to you guys, don't chase women, don't chase women. What I say this not to make your lives worse, but I say this with all due respect. I say this with the knowledge that most of you aren't getting women. And if you are getting women, it's probably not the ones that you want anyway, okay? And I know that because that was me when I was young. Now, I got a fair few women when I was young. I was like quite a handsome young guy. That all faded in my 20s. I really fucked up, hence why I know a lot about the good-looking guy thing, and then, you know, being the ugly guy, and then, you know, I've kind of gone up, down all throughout my life. So it was a very good journey for like being able to relay it to you guys. But as I said, you're probably not getting a lot of women anyway. Okay, like I still couldn't get those top-level women. They were still away from me. And as much as I tried, it was more just like, nah, yeah, I want some guy who's successful, who's right. So with all that being said, if I'm going to spend all that time, effort, money, whatever, I'm going to be distracted chasing women when I'm like 18, 19, 20, 21, and I'm going to chase, and I still don't get her because she's looking for some successful guy who sorted his life out. I'm like, well, fuck, I missed a trick there. Because when I get to 30, if I've wasted all that time and money, and then she gets to 30, and I look at her and go, I don't find her attractive, and we're not even together, but I go, I don't find her attractive anyway, and her current guy, who was successful, has binned her off because he's like, you know, and I'm not saying all guys will get rid of women at 30, but if you're a highly successful guy, there is the chance that that would happen, which is why I think divorce rates are so high, because people get together at the same age, doesn't quite work, you don't grow together. Now, it also works in reverse. A lot of guys get out of shape and whatnot, but for the sake of this video, I'm talking about men. Well, you know, if you're going to get to 30 and you've wasted all that time chasing a woman like that or women like that, and then you get to 30 and they don't look good anyway, but you're also not successful, you've not sorted your own life out, well, guess what? You get hit in the face twice. Because you missed out on that first crop of women that were your age, and now that you're 30 and you find the 21, 22-year-olds attractive, well, you miss out on them as well. Okay, like you can't get them either, because they're looking now and they're going, hey, you're 30 years old, I'm 23, I'm in the prime of my life, I'm looking for a guy who's really sorted his shit out, who's successful, who's got assets, who's ready for marriage, kids, mortgage, etc. Like, obviously, you guys know I'm against marriage, but that's what they're looking for. Well, if you're not in that position, well, then you miss out again. So you basically did, when you should have been doing A, you did B. And then when you realized that you should have been doing B, you went too far down the A route. And it was like, almost, it's not too late, but it's almost like, oh, fuck, you missed the trick. See what I mean, guys? It's like if there's like a wall between us and I've got to make eye contact with somebody on they're on that side of the wall, I'm on this side of the wall. It's almost like I'm going, and then as they move, I move. And then as I move, they move. It's like we're just missing each other. You know, when you call somebody, they don't answer. And then you put your phone down, you go to the toilet, they've called you back and you've just missed them. It's that fucking scenario. And that's how so many guys are living. And that's why I've often said in videos, men are living life in reverse. That was a whole thing that I did. Because that's what you're doing. You're doing it back to front by saying, I'm going to chase these women now. But then when you get to your like prime years, 28 and beyond, you're not in a position to then take advantage of the male advantage, you know, this younger crop of women that would actually be more suitable to you at that age. It would actually work better. And this is how so many guys fuck up, okay? My advice to you young guys out there, or just guys in general, but especially young guys, is I'm 29. I don't find the women my age attractive anymore. I don't look at, I'm sure there's some out there that I would, right? But I don't look at 30-year-old women and go, I want to save you. It just doesn't enter my mindset, okay? I don't look at, to be honest, any women over the age of 25, I'm almost like, I'm not interested. Like, they could be really attractive, I'll sleep with you, but I don't see you as a long-term partner. You know, it's fun, but I just don't see it. Right now, at this age, at 29, I'm almost like, I feel like I'm saving them. I feel like they're diminishing. They're on the way down. I'm on the way up. They're trying to use me. And I'm like, no, I want to take a woman who's in her prime, who is like 19, 20, 21, 22. And I want to say, okay, like that's, yeah, like we're of equal value. This works great. You scratch my back, I'm scratching yours. It works perfectly. So with that being said, just don't waste your time on the women your age. So if you are like 18, 19, 20, 21 right now, and you're going out clubbing and you're like, she's the hottest girl out, like she's so fit, she's 21, she's beautiful. I'm telling you, it just won't matter. Like fast forward in 9 years time, you might be like, she doesn't quite look the same anymore. And then here's the thing about men, and I'm not saying this is the right thing to do, but you won't treat her the same. If she's not as beautiful, she's not as sexy, you don't want her as much, the lust is gone, you've had sex with her 10 times, or like, she just doesn't look 10 times. You've had sex with her like 1,000 times over like 10 years if you were with her. If you weren't with her and you see her again for like the first time in 10 years, you're going to be like, yeah, like you're not as nervous. Your palms aren't sweating. You're not as out of breath. You're almost looking at her like, why was I so gassed up when I was young? But then when you look at the photos of her when she was young and now you go, oh, wow, yeah, she's diminished greatly. Whereas you've probably got a little bit better. Okay, you've probably got a little bit better, and she might even be trying to like hook onto you because she knows she's on the decline and she'll just take like a lower level guy right now. But then you're still not a high enough level to take the women that are in their prime. See what I mean, guys? It's like, it's a fucking catch-22 if you get it wrong. Now, so what's the scenario? Well, for me, it was to sacrifice. I saw this young, I saw this happening, and then I just had it confirmed when I got to like 28, 29. 27 really is when the tables just started to turn, but 28, 29, it really took over. And I think it will get more drastic 30 and beyond. But my advice to you would be to sacrifice women when young. Like if sex is on the cards, take it. Okay? I've never denied that. Like if a woman's coming on to you, she wants you, you're at a house party, take it. I did when I was young. I really enjoyed myself. I had some great experiences. I had 2 girlfriends up to the age that I am now, collectively about 4 years, but in 29 years, only 4 years of girlfriends, the rest of the time I was just sacrificing it because I was just dedicated to my business, to building the body, to building up different areas of my life. Just I knew that they were a distraction financially, time-wise, etc. And I thought the trade-off isn't worth it. Putting all your time, money, effort into these women just to get to 30 and kind of be disappointed, I'm not game on that, okay? And like I said, I'm 29. The women my age are no longer attractive. Like 6s and 7s out of 10, yeah, maybe some of them, okay? Like 6s and 7s at a push. But they're not the 8s, 9s, and 10s that they were when we were growing up, where it was like, she's perfect. There's nothing wrong with her. Like, they've all dropped 2 or 3 points. And that's the point that I'm making. Is as a man, as long as you put the work in, you will get better. And these women, when you're young and they're young, they don't want you anyway. This is the point I've always said to you guys. Like, a woman who is 22 years old doesn't really want to be with a 21, 22-year-old guy who's handsome, tall, muscular, but broke, unambitious, lazy, does nothing with his life. As crazy as that is to say to a lot of the guys that are still like in the high school mentality, they just don't. They'll sleep with that guy, maybe just for one night, whatever. They'll bomb him off pretty quick. They don't want to be with a guy like that. Like, they are looking for, because they're in their prime and they know it. So they're saying, okay, how do I capitalize on this at this current time? Oh, that guy is a multi-millionaire. Yeah, he's the one I'm going for. Or even on a smaller scale, that guy's got like $500,000 in his bank account. He earns 6 figures a year. He's got his own business, or he has a really good job. His house is beautiful. Like, he's a catch. Like, he's on my level. He deserves this pussy, is basically what she's trying to say. How many guys do you know under the age of 27 are in that position to pull that off? Like, throughout my whole life, I've probably only met like 2. Okay, maybe 3. Yeah, maybe like 3 in my whole life that were in that position, that were properly financially sorted, that were mature enough to take on something like that. It's just not feasible. So your better option is to ignore the women your own age. Obviously, you can't go for the younger women. You're not a paedophile, right? Obviously, I'm not encouraging that. So you go, well, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. I can't have either. They don't want me. They're too young. I might as well just focus on my own shit. Like, that's the way I see it. okay? Just focus on your own shit until you put yourself in a position. Now, like I said, take sex along the way. Like if it gets offered, dates, whatever, like as long as it doesn't affect your time and financials, like it's got to be a really good balance. It's got to be, yeah, it's fine. I had a great month. I had $4,000 come in this month. I'm going to treat myself, go out on a date with this girl. She's going to stay over tonight. I'm going to fuck her like 5-6 times. And then maybe I never see her again. Maybe she texts me. I'm not going to let this become a relationship. That's kind of how I handled it, okay? That's kind of how I enjoyed myself. But then, like I said, once you get to 27, 28, 29, 30, you start seeing it all unfold, start come together. I promise you, because I'm experiencing it right now, 19, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, it doesn't stop, okay? These aged women are now wanting me. They're now wanting my friends who stayed in shape and did well for themselves. Like, we're all experiencing it. Like, I speak to multiple guys that are around about my age, in their early 30s, whatever, and they all say the same thing. I've never had more women than I have now. And the only ones that say this are the ones that stuck it out, worked hard, stayed single, didn't do the marriage and kids thing, stayed in shape or some relatively good shape, took care of their looks somewhat, became successful, put some decent money in the bank, put some very good assets in place, you know, and then it all came together. I'm very excited for like March, because if I can get into this penthouse, okay, that I'm looking to get into, set up the podcast studio, have a much better office backdrop, do influencer parties, like have parties in general there, do a lot more filming there, I can show you guys what life setup really looks like, okay? And I'm not saying I'm just going to be running through women like a lunatic, but you're going to see clear examples of like, oh wow, like what a change that is. Yeah, oh, there's a clear value switch. And I'm not saying just seeing me on camera with women. I'm not going down that route. I'm just saying you'll see me in this place as this mature man with money, who's in shape, who's got his own business, who's earning X amount of money per month, who's got ambitions, and you'll go, with that life set up and, you know, the characteristics that come with it, and maybe like articulation, intelligence, stuff like that comes around it as it makes it all up, clothes and whatever, you go, oh yeah, I can see why. Like, to quote Andrew Tate again, he was like, people always say, you're not fucking these girls. He was like, so who are they fucking? Are they fucking you? And this one thing you guys need to understand is like, if you're a young, beautiful woman who's a 10, 9, 8, 7, whatever, and you're in your prime, well, yeah, of course you're not going to be fucking some like 21-year-old kid. Like, even if he's the most handsome, in-shape, big dick guy going, it's still going to be like, yeah, maybe for one night, maybe for a bit of fun, but I don't know. He's a loser. He's going nowhere. Like, he's handsome, but he just doesn't really do it for me. That becomes a real thing beyond the age of like, I'd say for women, beyond the age of like 20, 21, they really start thinking about that shit deeply. Like, deeply. They really start considering it, okay? And so many guys get caught up in this high school mentality of you've just got to be a Chad. You've just got to be... I promise you now, once women get to a certain age, some sooner than others, I know 18-year-olds that are obsessed with rich guys. Once you get past a certain age, all that matters is kind of success, life setup, assets, whatever. Like Andrew Tate said, of course they're fucking me. Why would they not? Look at what I have. Look at my life setup. Like, why would they not? Like Dan Bilzerian often said, I expect a woman to fuck me now. Like, it just, once you put yourself in a certain position, and it's hard to understand when you're young and you're just judging everything based off looks and appearance. But once you start, as I have in like the last 4 or 5 years especially, once you start adding points to the board, like you get yourself in shape, you look more manly, you get rid of like your fears and whatever, your anxieties, and you're just walking around in pure confidence. You start buying some nicer clothes, you add some assets, whatever, you start potentially thinking, okay, I'm going to move into this place. I'm going to, you know, I'm walking with more confidence. I've got X amount of money coming in. I just feel good about myself. I've bought a holiday home. You know, once you start ticking all these different boxes and whatever, or you go on a date and it's like, that's £120, please. And you're like, yeah, fine, whatever. Like, I don't care. Whereas back in the day, you like start sweating. Once you start ticking all these boxes, you start to look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, well, yeah, of course. Like, I can see now why I couldn't get this before. I can see now why an 8 would be thirsting over you, messaging you, obsessed with you. But like, I really want to see you. Like, are you free tonight? No. Okay. How about Saturday? Like, and you're like, that used to be me in reverse. Like, why is that now happening to me? But then when you see what you've built and who you've become, you go, oh yeah, now it all makes sense. Like, I had to become the man that I wanted to be. Okay, guys? So, like I said, I don't find the women my age attractive anymore. So there's no point chasing them. There's no point chasing them because I guarantee, like, you guys might fuck her and there might be some nostalgia there. Like, oh, she was my crush at school, I'm going to fuck her now. Like, there's always some nostalgia there. I get that too. Okay? But at the same time, it's like, don't waste your time on them because their value's going to drop as yours is going up regardless. So you're very likely going to get to my age and be like, yeah, to be honest, I find the 21, 22, 23-year-olds more attractive. Like, I don't want to be with the woman that I'm with. She was my dream at school. I love her, but she doesn't really do it for me anymore. Like, we haven't had sex in 6 months. Like, the younger guys won't understand this. This shit happens. I talk to a lot of men my age and older. This shit happens, okay? So, your best strategy, like I said, is just take care of yourself. Take care of number one. You're not going to find these girls attractive anyway. So take care of yourself. Put yourself in the perfect position. Those girls don't want you when you're young anyway. So once you do reach your prime years, if you've put in the work, you've made the sacrifice, and you've put yourself in the perfect position, your prize is the next crop. Okay, once they turn 20, 21, 22, 23, and they're as beautiful as they can be. And then they're like, that guy's on the same level as me. He's got the value that I need. Yeah, I'm going to get with him. That's the male advantage. That's when we take over. Okay, guys? So it's like 4 different concepts in one video here, built around the concept of, I don't find the women my age attractive anymore. And I hope this makes sense. And I hope this isn't offending a lot of women out there, because I think it's well known that men age better than women. I've got exes that will admit that now. Like, they're starting to say that. They're like, yeah, men age way better than women. Like, I think it just all unfolds as time goes on. And I've often said before, women as a holistic sense get better with age. Like, I get on better with women who are 40, 50 years old. They've been through the shit. They're more humble. They've been, divorced twice. They've got 4 kids. They've been through real pain, and they're like, fuck me. Like, this sort of pain that you do when you're doing a leg session and you're just butchering yourself. Women go through childbirth and they're like, Jesus Christ, like, I can actually be hurt. Like, when a guy gets beaten up or plays the hardest game of rugby ever, like, he knows a little bit of, like, what real pain can be. Women go through childbirth, they start figuring out, oh shit, I'm not, this precious invincible thing. Like, that fucking hurt. And, like, women just kind of they just become cool. Like, women who are in their, like, late 30s, 40s, 50s that have had kids, they're just cool as fuck. Their ego's gone. They're worrying less about their looks. But I still don't want them. That's mental, right, guys? It's like the perfect woman, the perfect catch. I need somebody sexy that I want to fuck. It gets me up in the morning. It gets me going. It makes me ambitious. It makes me want to provide. It's just nature. It's nothing we can fight, okay? So with that being said, take advantage of that. Ignore it in the early days when you can't get it anyway. And even if you can, just enjoy the sex, but focus mainly on your success, business, 9-to-5 job, whatever it is that's going to set you up correctly. So that, because even if you're getting hot women now, they're probably 6s, 7s, and maximums 8s. If you get to like 28, 29, 30 and beyond, let's say 37, when I think men peak, and you are multi-millionaire, everything you've ever wanted, the perfect body, you're more mature, you dress better, like, you've got rid of your bad habits, you've got perfect assets, like a beautiful house, nice car, etc., holiday homes, you're taking trips all the time. I wouldn't be shocked if a Victoria's Secret model was like, I want that guy. I'm talking about you guys. Like, if somebody said, like, if one of you did everything that I just spoke about, and then you said, hey, Kris, thanks for the advice, I'm dating a fucking straight 10 model, I'd be like, well, yeah, of course you are. Like, who else is she going to be with? Like, there's guys that are on that level, but we're in such short supply. It's like, of course she is. What other option does she have? Like, she's a young, beautiful 21-year-old. What's she going to do? Go and marry Chad who can't provide? Like, she might have fucked him once, whatever. Get over it. Drop your ego, okay? You've got her now. Like, if she's been ran through by, like, 100 guys, yeah, maybe forget about that, okay? But if she slept with, like, 3 really handsome, big dick, in-shape guys, and she's a straight 10, and she's, like, 23 years old, and then she gets with you at 13, you can't handle that? You got issues. Because of course she's going to sleep with, like, she's beautiful. She's getting a million fucking offers every single day. Of course she's going to, like, sleep with someone. Right, guys? So if you can't handle that aspect of it, there needs to be some level of maturity. because I want you guys to do the same along the way. Like, I want you guys to enjoy sex along the way. And then when you finally get the woman that you're like, I really want her, like, she's my dream woman that I've always wanted, cash in on it. Like, why wait? Like, if you're getting multiple, yeah, enjoy them again. But if you actually find your dream woman, cash in on it. But I'm saying, you won't get your dream woman at 21. They won't want you. They'll want you, the next crop will want you when you're like 30 years old. And you're in that perfect position with everything they've ever dreamed of like building their perfect life setup. He's on my level. He's a great catch. He's exactly what I've been looking for. They're not going to find that in a guy under 28 years old. Like, I think Jennifer Lopez recently said men under 33 are useless. She said something along those lines, right? You can search the quote. She said something along those lines. I think most women think like that, but they think in more terms because they're not as ambitious, as rich as her. I think most women would say men under 28 are useless. I would say most men under 27, 28 are useless. Like, that would be my opinion. Like, you got potential and ambition. It doesn't mean that much these days. Women want the finished article. Okay, so you might as well sacrifice those early years, wait it out, get the next crop, because the women your age, you won't find them attractive anyway. So what's the fucking point in chasing them, wasting your time, and ruining your life for the sake of something you won't want regardless? If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement, Male Advantage ebook, or my personal workout and diet plan, all links are in the bio.